Hey everyone! In today's video I want to go over how to set up Google Ads for e-commerce. So some time ago I have written an article about the exact structure that I use to set up Google Ads, Google Search Ads specifically. And I was thinking that it would probably be interesting for a lot of people to see this in a more visual way as well. So that's why I'm recording this video today, and I will guide you through the entire process. I'm also recording this live, so for the people joining live here, thank you for joining today. If there's any questions, please just drop them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer these either during the live stream or at the end. But let's dive right in and start with the show. So this is Google Ads. Okay, everyone knows Google Ads, but let's start with the article that I was talking about. So if you search for my name and then Google Ads, you will see this Google Ads for e-commerce, a simple guide. So this is the guide that I'm going to follow today as well. And as you will see, there's one simple rule to follow that I stated in the beginning. Now, this is a very important one. And I also see a lot of people making mistakes against this. I've trained multiple people in Google Ads before. I've also trained people who are working for me right now. And it is really important to make sure that your campaign is as relevant as humanly possible. So that's also why this is probably one of the only words that I have in bold in this article. But you will see through the video how I'm setting up the campaign, how you can actually make this happen in the campaign as well. So then I'm quickly talking about the campaign structure, how the structure is supposed to set up for an e-commerce stores, for example. Then the keywords and the different match types for keywords, a very important one, and something that I also see a lot of mistakes against. Then the ads themselves, the ad extensions, which I will briefly go over as well. And then the landing page, so where you're actually sending people to with your ads that you're creating. And then the metrics is something that you want to keep an eye on once your campaigns are running. And this will guide you in how you want to improve your campaigns going forward and make sure that you're getting a decent return on ad spend, because that's the most important part when we are creating Google Ads for e-commerce, of course. Now, let's dive right in. So we have Google Ads here, but also we need something to create the ads for. So I was looking at e-commerce store examples from Shopify. Let's see if there's something interesting here that we can work with. Maybe we'll just go with this first one. I think this could be fun. Let's see what this is. Molly Jogger. So they sell a bunch of decoration stuff. It seems fun. Let's see what the structure is like. So we have knife kits, Jones hats, apparel, camping, fishing. Yeah, I think we can do something with this. Okay, let's go with that. Let's say that we want to start setting up a campaign for camping. Then we can see that this collection has a variety of different items. So it probably will be pretty hard to send people to this landing page, but we'll see how the structure comes along. So then the first and most important part, when you're starting to set up a Google Ads campaign, make sure that you have your conversions set up correctly. Now, I can't really do this here because I'm using the demo store, but if you're working with Shopify, just Google Shopify GA4. They have a native integration now to use Google Analytics 4 for Shopify. I've already done this for all the stores that I'm managing, but this is an important part. Make sure that this is set up and that this is connected to your Google Ads as well, and then you will see the conversions popping up here. But then we can start with the fun stuff, setting up the campaigns themselves. So I just set up a blank demo account here. And as you can see, we can create a new campaign here. Now, I still like to do this the classic way, so I'm going to create a campaign without goal guidance, and we're going to set up a good old search campaign. Then the results that we want to get from this campaign is, well, first of all, it's website visits. And let's just call this camping. What would actually best describe this? Is it as like camping gear? I feel that actually the way that they've set it up is like not as clear. So I'm gonna go for another example here. Let's say we're going with Taylor Stitch. I think that will be a better example. It also aligns better with this article because I've also written it with like this campaign structure in mind. Fun fact, my parents used to have a clothing store, so I always tend to go back to like clothing as an example because it's definitely an industry that I have some affinity with. So let's see here. So we have shop, we have shirts, denim. Do we have any additional filters here? No, we do not have additional filters. Not sure why most of these shops actually are not really having like a structure where it's like easy to go for like a certain category. Like for the t-shirts, I was looking for some filters that were possible to filter on the color of the t-shirts. But actually, let's go with GroveMate. This is a brand that I know as well. I'm sure their shop is set up pretty well. So as we can see here, we have the different stands, most pads, stools. And then let's go for monitor stands. Okay, we're going with this one. So we'll call this monitor stands. Go on to create a campaign. We do not need a guide right now. What do we want to focus on? So the thing here is we can focus on conversions, conversion value. This is not available for me right now, but even if it is available and you just set up conversion tracking, you're just starting your first Google Ads campaign, I would not recommend using conversions in this case because Google doesn't have enough data at that point to make that work for you. So the first thing you want to focus on here is clicks. Maximum cost per click is something that I'm not using these days. Let's set this to the United States and Canada. I think this is also more or less the geographical area where GroveMate is mainly selling their products. I know that they ship worldwide, but I do think that there's like taxes involved if they ship it outside of the US, or at least custom duties. Then for audience segments, let's open this quickly, but I'm not going to use this right now. So an interesting thing that you could do is add some observation audiences here. So maybe if we search for like desk accessories. I think this is probably with double S. So we have like in-market, let's say in-market office furniture could be an interesting one. Let's leave it at that for now. But like the difference here between observation and targeting is for observation, we are not going to target these people specifically, but we are going to gather data for this specific in-market audience. If we would select targeting, then we would actually only target people within that audience and then the keywords we add on top. But for observation, it could be interesting because after we monitor the people coming through that are part of the office furniture observation audience, we can then also make bid adjustments based on this audience. Or maybe even exclude them. If we find a certain audience that is really not converting, we might want to exclude them altogether, and that's also possible. Now if we go to more settings, we have the ad rotation. Standard, this is set to optimize. I do sometimes use the do not optimize here if I really want to spread visitors evenly across ads to see which ads are performing better. And if you set it to optimize, Google tends to send people to a specific ad fairly fast. And sometimes I feel like another ad might have not really gotten the chance to see if it's worth something. But we'll leave this at optimize for now. You can set start and end dates. For search ads, usually I'm not using any end dates at all, since a well set up search ad should keep bringing in conversions. And as long as there's a return on ad spend, like for most e-commerce shops, I'm seeing a return on ad spend from around 10x. We should just leave it running because it's basically just bringing in revenue for a decent cost. Then for the ad schedule, usually I start out with all day, and then we can go to our ad group here. Now for this ad group, I'm also going to use the desk monitor stands. We could, for example, have the campaign a little bit wider, so have that set to stands, and then for the ad group specifically, we could, for example, have then the desk monitor stands and include a couple of other ad groups for the other items under stands here. So that's something that could work as well. Now it already will say like keyword suggestions. So if we would put in, which ones did we pick here? The monitor stands. So if we put in the landing page for the monitor stand, so that's this one, you can get some keyword suggestions based on that specific page from the data that Google can already see. Now, these you will see are all broad match keywords. So this basically means that there can be anything before that keyword, there can be anything after that keyword, and it can also have variants. So that is what I'm explaining right here. But you can also Google the keyword types to get some more details about how these exactly work. But usually I do not want to try to start out with the broad match keywords because it tends to bring in a lot of traffic that is not really relevant. To give you an example, monitor stand, if someone puts DIY in front of it, it's not really our audience. We're trying to sell a monitor stand. We're not trying to teach people how to create a monitor stand. But then you can go through this list and see, okay, the scrolling is a little bit annoying, and see which ones makes sense here. So monitor arm definitely does not make sense. Adjustable, I don't think this one is adjustable. I don't think we have any adjustable ones on this page. So that's also not relevant. Monitor arms are also not relevant. I think it could work for dual monitor setup, especially if you have the wider one here. So that could be an interesting one. We're going to keep that one in. It's not a mount, so anything with mount in it can also go. It's also not a monitor arm, so that can go. Monitor riser, I guess that could work. Again, mounts, we do not need that. This one also not. These can also go. Monitor holder stands. It's a bit hard to tell what people are actually looking for here, but we'll leave that in for now. Multiple monitor stand that also work, so these all kind of work. So we're gonna keep all of these. Let's tidy this up a little bit. But then we want to make them phrase match. So phrase match means anything can come before it, anything can come after it. And then if there's like really close variants, those might work as well. So to do that, we just put them within quotes. I'll do a couple ones here to show you, but I'm not going to bore you by going through all of them. So we'll do these three and then I'll show you afterwards what you can do as a faster way of adding these in bulk, or like changing the type in bulk. Then the final URL, so we still have the same URL here, the monitor stands. The display path is what is shown here. So as you can see, we have monitor stands here, but this isn't shown in the ad. So if we now add monitor stands right here, now you can see that this will be added to the ad as well. Now for the ad itself, so this is where some creativity comes in. And we need to see what their selling points are for these desks. So they say monitor stands and desk shelves that give you an ergonomic boost and elevate your home office. Available for single and dual monitor setups. Now as you can see, these are not the cheapest ones. And I feel like one of their selling points that they're not stating here, but probably on the product page, is that these all are made from wood. Yeah, so here they say we crafted from 15-ply premium hardwood, plywood, aluminum, and natural cork, hand-stained with Japanese calligraphy ink. So these are like really high-quality products. I do have some products from GrowthMate, highly recommend them. I do not have a referral link for that, by the way. But here you can see that they are focusing a little bit more about that it's like handmade, and that it's like a really high quality product. So that's something that we want to add in our ads as well, because that's definitely a selling point here. We can already see here that based on the website and existing ads, no, there are no existing ads, but based on the website, there are a couple of headlines that are suggested here. So let's say we want to use handmade monitor stands. So that will be one of them. Let's add design and crafted to last. What was the word called again? So we can add made from the premium hardwoods. Now we can see this is a little bit too long here, so I'm gonna leave off the plywood and just call it made from premium hardwood. So then we have 3 headlines, which is the minimum required here. You have the option to say that you always want one of these to be added in a certain position. So if I would pin this one, I can choose to only show it in position 1, for example, or show in any unpinned position to make sure that this is always part of my ads, and then Google can still go through the other ones. In the meantime, I'm also quickly gonna check the stream itself to make sure that everything is working correctly. Okay, everything looks fine there, so let's continue. So we have these here. Let's see if there's anything else we can add. So this is also the way that I would set up these Google ads for myself. Like, I would have a really good look at the products. Obviously, when it's your own product, you you should know all of these features by heart. But since I'm using this example here, I need to see what their selling points actually are. Maybe let's add the finish to perfection. That also seems an interesting one. So we'll add this one here as well. Then another good one to know. I have to see. Let me quickly see that I use the right. So another one that you can use is keyword insertion. And you can basically do that, or here it is already, by adding this. So brackets, keywords, and then the default text that you have here is when it can't match the keywords. So let's have the handmade monitor stands as the default here. Then you can also choose if you want a title case, sentence case, or lowercase. We're going to keep this at sentence case. Apply, and then you will see it will add this one. Now, what this does is it will insert the keywords that someone actually typed into Google, which makes your ad even more relevant, of course. So it's a really great way to make sure that your ads are even more relevant than you could by guessing what actually would work for people here. As you can see, these are all set, and then we arrive at the descriptions. So here we have some more room to write about our products. Let's see, pros. And this was oh, I did not add that one yet. So they do say here it's handmade in the USA. I think I also saw the location somewhere. Well, maybe not, but we'll just add that then. And then we want to add a second description. Now it would be good if we could add something here about, do they offer free shipping or something? Let's just test this by adding something to the cart. Customs fees are not included, okay. Would be nice if they had some more information about that. I feel it's always like not the greatest idea to not have like any clearly stated shipping costs, but I guess that's what we're working here with right now. So for the second line, let's see. So I'll say, combine this monitor stand with our collection of handcrafted desk accessories. I feel that that's a pretty good place to start. Let's see if there's some more information here. Now, for the sake of this video, we'll just go with this for now. I would probably do some additional research to see if there's any other USPs, unique selling propositions, that I can use here. But for now, I'll leave it at that. Then we can also add some side links. So this is also a fun way to cross-promote your products, or maybe add some extra information to your ads as well. If your ad is shown in the first position in Google, it will show it with the full description, so it also will take up more space, which is always a good idea. But let's say, to keep it a little bit easy here, we're gonna add the laptop stands. I made it a bit too long here. Laptop stands. Browse or web? Yep, that works. So browse or laptop stands. Let's add another one. What else is relevant? Probably an iPhone dock would be nice as well. Let's switch it up a little bit and say handmade iPhone docks. To make sure that everything has like the same aesthetic here, we'll do it like this. And then we can add the URL. Let's do 2 more. I think desk beds would probably also be relevant. Let's see what they have to say about those. Oh, so they're all leather. That's an interesting one to add. So leather desk beds. And then the last one will go for, well, maybe headphone stands. Why not? They look pretty cool, by the way. I've been looking at these before. Also, like if there's like any variable in here, I usually just leave those out because we do not need those. Wooden headphone stand. Okay, so then we have our site links. We're gonna apply this. Then the callouts is something that will be added under your ad as well. And this is basically to highlight some things as like free shipping. Now in this case, there is no free shipping, but I'll add this here just for the sake of demonstration. Free shipping, let's go with handmade once more because that's really their USP. Don't know if they offer free returns, but let's say we have free returns here. Maybe elevate your workspace. Okay, save that as well. And that is the basic setup for our ad campaign. So we have everything in here now. Now you can add more things like promotions, prizes, calls, structured snippets, lead forms. These are all the different, let's scroll down here, different ad extensions that I'm talking about here. I won't go over them, go over all of them in this video. But if it's something that you would like another video about, leave it in the comments below. And I'm happy to pick this up in another video and talk about the different types of ad extensions there. Then we also have some URL options. Now, this is a really interesting one when you're working with Shopify, because you can get more data about your ads in Shopify as well and see what ads are performing best. So in that case, you could add UTM tags here. Now, if you want to know how UTM tags work, or you never have heard of them before, just search Google UTM tags, and then we should find this page about GA DevTools. And this is a tool that you can use to create these tags. So let's take this as an example. We could say campaign source, in this case is Google, medium is CPC, campaign name, what did I name this campaign again? Let's just call it Task Monitor Stance. I think I actually did use the same campaign name. So let's add this one as well. And then you can also use some insertion here to add the keyword itself as well, but again, that would bring us a little bit too far for this specific video. But here you get the generated URL, and then you basically just need the last part of it to add to your ads. Scroll to the bottom again. To add to your ads right here. So as you can see in the example, we don't need to add the question mark, just what comes behind it. So if we add this, that will work perfectly fine. And that also means that it will be added to every ad that has this final URL suffix. You can also add this on a campaign level or even an account level if you want to make things a little bit easier for you. So let's say done, next. Then we need to set a budget. Okay, 3.5K. I think we have to sell a lot of these desk stands to actually make this work. I'm also gonna imagine, like, if you're just starting out with Google Ads, you do not want to work with a daily budget like this. So let's say custom budget of $100 a day. This should be enough. Well, average CPC says 7.75 here. Which I do see. Like, if you make sure that your campaign is relevant enough, I can imagine that the margins for these products are pretty high. But for these 775, like, this means that we will get a little bit over 10 clicks in a day, which might not be enough. Let's try to go with 250 a day to give it a bit more. Okay, then next. And now you will see the campaign will actually publish. No, this campaign will not run because I didn't add any payment methods to this specific account. Here you can see an overview of what we just created. So we have the campaign name Monitor Stance. It's a search campaign focused on maximize clicks right now. Oh, here I see one mistake that we made. So for networks, I have it set to search network, but it also includes search partners and display network. Now, this is something that I do not necessarily want. From experience, I know that search partners and display network, for the rare exception, do not convert very well. I have seen accounts where, surprisingly enough, the display network really converted for a search campaign, but it is quite rare. So let's try this again, see if everything is okay now. Okay, this looks better. Language is set up correctly. We have our 13 keywords, we have our one ad, we have our budget. Here we can already see that we are expecting a weekly cost of 1.75K. The average CPC also went down now, but this is something that we will need to optimize while the campaign is running as well. Like, I feel these estimates are not always as accurate, maybe because most people are not really targeting their campaigns accurately enough, which will increase your CPC. But I'll talk about this in a second. And then we see our estimated weekly clicks as well. So let's just publish this campaign. Great, so now we have our campaign. Right here it will say that the account cannot show any ads because it does not have any billing information. That's fine for now, I know that. So let's have a look here. So we have on the left side, we have our campaign right here, and then the ad set that we have under that campaign, or the ad group better. So if we click on the campaign, we can always see the different ad groups here and then all the data that is included for those ad groups. Let's go into this ad group so we can see the keywords here. And now you can see that not all of them are, so we have 13 keywords. Let's make sure that they're all shown. So we can see right here that not all of them are set to phrase match right now. So if I select all of them, then deselect the ones that are already set to phrase match. And now we can easily change the other ones to phrase match as well by just going here, change match types, change all match types, set it to, nope, not exact match, phrase match, and apply. Okay, there was a problem. Let's just try one more time. But usually this is the way how you would change these match types in bulk. So now it worked. It added the quotes everywhere, so perfect. This is exactly what we needed. Then we can also see negative keywords here. So this is also something we want to add. Let's see if we were also talking about this here. No, I did not go into negative keywords here, I see. So this is also why I made this video. There are some things that I haven't really mentioned in the article that I do think of now. So negative keywords are keywords where we know that we do not want our ads to be shown. We can add these on a campaign level, on an ad group level, or we can create a negative keyword list. Let's see. Can I create a new list in this view? Let's see if I do this. No, that does not really work. So the list you first need to create in shared library, and then lists, negative keyword lists. Let's quickly create one. So accounts negatives. I always create one of these because it just makes it, so I need to add at least one keywords. And let's say DIY is something we do not want to show our ads for. We do not want to pay for people who want to create their desk stand themselves. Then if we go to this keyword list, you can apply it to campaigns. So we're going to add our campaign here. And now all of the keywords in this negative keyword list will be added to our campaign. So this way you can have this one list always up to date, have it centrally managed in your account, and easily add it to new campaigns as well. So let's add a couple more keywords here. Maybe someone is looking for a course how to make the desk stand, also happens. Cheap. These desk stands definitely are not cheap. Promotion, we're also going to exclude that because in my experience I don't think GroveMate does promotions that often. So let's assume here they don't do promotions at all, so we don't want any people hunting for promotions here. And now we can see these are added here. And then if we go back to our account and go to negative keywords, we can see that this list is added here as well. Now, for the keywords themselves, so in the beginning I was talking about we want our keywords to be as relevant as possible. So one mistake that I see here is monitor mount, and this one must have slipped through the cracks because I did delete most of the mounts, but this is like not really relevant for what we're doing here. So let's delete this one. And then you can see the data here. Now I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do a video on how to optimize Google Ads campaigns, because this is a video that I want to do next. But I do need an account where I can actually show the data, and it's a bit hard to do this for my own account. So if anyone wants to have like a free optimization of the Google Ads account, I'm happy to go over it in a video, as long as you give me the permission to show it publicly and have it as a video on YouTube afterwards. But here you can see a couple of the metrics that are interesting here. So we have impressions, which is the number of impressions this keyword got. So people are searching for monitor mount. This is the amount of times that your ad was actually shown for that. Then we have let's start with the clicks first. So then we have people clicking through on the ads. This is also the point where you will actually pay for the ad. So you're not paying for any impressions for search ads, you're only paying for the clicks. Then the click-through rate is the difference between the impressions and the clicks. So if this is 100, this is 10, then you have a click-through rate of 10%. The cost, which is the total cost that this keyword, like the total amount of money that this keyword used for the clicks that it brought in. And then the cost divided by the clicks is the average CPC. So these are a couple of important metrics, but there are a couple more that you want to add in here as well. So if we go to columns and we search, for example, for the quality score, this is something we want to keep an eye on. Then we also want the impression absolute top means your ad was shown first in the search results, and then impressions top means that it was shown above the organic results. So usually this is around like 2 or 3 ads that are shown there, but these two are something that you also want to keep an eye on. So let's add that one as well. Then of course we want our conversions. So let's add the conversions as well. If you're doing e-commerce, you can also add conversion value. So let's add conversion value. Then another interesting one is the cost divided by all conversions, because that will also give you an idea of the cost per conversion. So if we add these, you will see that we can add these columns. We can see these columns here now. And this data will start to populate and give you more insight in how these keywords are actually performing. Now the quality score is something that you want to keep an eye on. This is a score that goes from 1 until 10. And basically it's like a multiplier on the cost per click, and that will determine your ad rank. So if you Google Ads ad rank formula, you can see it's the bid times the quality score. So that means if I, for example, am bidding $1, I have a quality score of 10, it will multiply it by 10, which means my ad rank is 10. If someone else is bidding $5, but their quality score is 1, that means their ad rank is actually 5, so 5 times 1, which means they will rank under me, although they were bidding more for the specific keyword. So it's really important to make sure that these quality scores are high enough so that this actually will drive down the cost and make sure, because it's also an indication of the relevance of your campaign as well. Like if I were to add a keyword in here, so let's say the headphone stand, or maybe even something more irrelevant, notebooks. So this shop is also selling notebooks. We have the desk notebook, and I want to do an ad for this, and I'm like, well, I have this campaign here, I'm just going to add this keyword in here. Like the relevance is going to be really off because we're sending people to the landing page for monitor stands, but the keyword that they put in was they were searching for a notebook. So that does not make any sense. And at that point, it would be better to, well, as we named it now, to have a different campaign, but even to have a different ad group in here, because on an ad group level, you have different ads, you have different landing pages, you have different keywords. So you really need to look at the relevance on an ad group level. So that is why it's important to keep an eye on that quality score to make sure that you have all the different keywords here that are related to each other. So the process you want to go through is have a look at your ads, maybe like take a print screen of it, have it like fixed on your desktop, and then have your keyword list right next to it. Look at each keyword and say like, okay, if I were to type in monitor mount and I see this ad, does this make sense? For the monitor mount, it does not, because it's a stand. I was trying to delete this keyword earlier, it didn't work at that point. Maybe it works now, let's see. So this one does not work, so you would need to delete that one. Google Ads is still not working with me, so that's fine. Then the next one, monitor stand. I'm Googling monitor stands. I'm seeing an ad that says handmade monitor stands designed and crafted to last. Perfectly relevant. Landing page I go to is monitor stands, as you can see in the bottom left here. Very relevant. So this works perfectly fine. And that is also what I mean with this first part in the article here. Make sure your entire campaign is as relevant as humanly possible. And then you will also see this will directly impact one of the most important KPIs, which is the click-through rate. To give you some idea here, the click-through rate for search campaigns that are non-branded, so that means if I would have a keyword here that says growth made monitor stand, that keyword will obviously have a higher click-through rate because people are actually looking for the specific brand, that specific product, so the relevance is really high. But the non-branded one, so just monitor stand, I'm usually aiming for about 10% click-through rate, which is a pretty good number to aim for, and it shows you that your ad is relevant enough combined with the keyword. Now after that, we're also looking at conversion. So if you see that there's like a click-through rate of 15%, but the conversions are, let's say, 0, and all of your other keywords are doing well, then you might be sending them to the wrong landing page. So you might need to have a look there. So in short, if you want to optimize the click-through rate, we are looking for the relevance between the keyword and the ad. If we want to optimize the conversions or the conversion rate, I didn't add this column now, but you can also add the conversion rate. If we're looking to optimize that, then we're looking at the relevance between the ad that is being shown and the landing page. And also, of course, landing page optimization in general and making sure that people can actually convert on your page, but that's a different thing. Also, if you're at this point in the video, I would really appreciate you if you liked and subscribed, and also hit that bell icon to make sure that you get notifications whenever I'm doing another live stream. I'll probably do another one next week as well. What I think for the ad so far, that I got most of the important things that you need to know to make sure that your ad is running well. Once you have started running these ads, another thing you want to keep an eye on, but this will again be an optimization video, but if you start when you're seeing this video, you do want to make sure to monitor the exact keywords or exact search phrases that people are putting in for a certain keyword. And the way you can do this is by clicking one of these keywords, then clicking on search terms, and this will actually show you all the different search terms that someone typed in to trigger an ad based on the keyword that we just selected, so monitor stand. So remember in the beginning when I was saying with phrase match, there can be words before it, there can be words after it, and it can be close variants. You will see all of these in here, and then you have the choice to exclude some keywords or add keywords to your account to again optimize that relevancy for this specific ad group here. Okay, let's see if we have anything else here. A bit tangled in my cables here. Let's quickly go back to the article to see if there's anything else that I covered in here. So here I'll also go over the different elements that make a good landing page, so it might be interesting for you to review this as well. Then the metrics that matter, so we talked about the average CPC, we talked about the quality score, the click-through rate, the conversion rate, return on ad spend. Bounce rate is another interesting one here. So I do not have a Google Analytics account connected to this Google Ads account right now, but you can actually add a Google Analytics account to your Google Ads account as well. So if you go to linked accounts here, you see that we have UA, rest in peace. This will end within like 9 days more or less. But Google Analytics 4, you can connect a Google Analytics 4 account here, and that will actually allow you to import metrics from your Google Analytics account as well. So if we import Google Analytics at that point, and we then have a look at our keywords, which are here. Let's see if it actually shows me the columns. No, it also doesn't show the columns right now because it is not linked. But then if you would look for bounce rate here, you will be able to add that column as well. And then if you see that when there's a very high bounce rate for one of these keywords, there's like a little bit of a mismatch between the keyword and the ad and the landing page that you want to look into at that point. But that's basically it for this video. I think I covered everything that I had here. Yeah, so that's about it. Let me see if any questions came up while I was doing this video. No, I see a comment from Kevon who said yes. Thank you, Kevon. Let me quickly see if I add this to the broadcast, what this will look like. So as you can see, Kevon is someone I know who creates online courses, is training people how to grow a Twitter audience. And I would say in like a very thoughtful way. So it's not like any growth hacking, but really making friends on Twitter. So I definitely do appreciate the way that Kevon teaches this. So thank you for tuning in to the live stream here. So I do see that there's no further questions. So I will end the video at this point then. For everyone who tuned in live here, thank you very much for watching. Anyone watching this afterwards, if there's any questions, just leave them in the comments down below. I will keep an eye on those. I will be answering those questions. And if there's like a bigger question, I will probably also make a follow-up video where I will go over that question as well. So thank you for watching. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.